Hey, Delaware. Welcome back to another episode of That Delaware Podcast. And today, as always, we're going to get into what everyone did this weekend.
It was a dreary weekend, so not a great weekend to be outside, but I went to my first ever Phillies game.
Did it rain?
So it rained. It was like misting. I brought ponchos for the kids. They were really excited to wear them, so that at least was a silver lining. But yeah, it was not a great day for a baseball game. It's still early in the season, but it was really fun, and I feel like I'm a newly branded Philly sports fan.
Welcome.
Yeah, so
Yes, I love that for you.
yeah, they did lose to the Dodgers, but then they won the next day. So it was really fun. And then on Sunday, I took the kids to see another agent in our brokerage, Amanda Bradford, starred in a production of Anastasia. And I saw Amber there
Yeah.
and a lot of other
Yeah.
agents and lenders that we work with. And it was such a beautiful production.
It was amazing.
I can't wait to see it. Yeah, we're going Friday, so my whole family. And my daughter was in Anastasia at the Everett recently, so I can't wait to see how they do it there and support Amanda and the cast. So
That's so
yeah,
cool.
I can't wait to see it. So on Saturday, this past Saturday was the kitchen tour hosted by the Junior League of Wilmington, and I'm a member of the Junior League, and this was my fourth time chairing the event. It has not been in person since 2018.
Wow.
2020, we do it every other year. Well, since 2018, but 2020 was canceled, of course. 2021, we did it virtually. And this is the first time it's been in person since 2018, and it was amazing.
So what
13
is-
gorgeous kitchens. It's one of those self-guided tours, kind of like a garden tour, if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's amazing.
people just came out and drove supporting, and the volunteers were amazing, and it was a great day. It was a little dreary, like you said.
Yeah.
So, and I was driving around supporting all the houses, making sure everybody had what they needed, but it was really fun. And then at each of the houses, there's restaurants and like local establishments that donate food. So like desserts. Dana was there. Oh my gosh, amazing. I've never had their stuff before. Nick's Pizza, which is new, but
Yes.
at one of the houses, and just a bunch of other amazing restaurants and chefs donating their food and their time.
That's a
So
really
it was
cool
great.
idea.
It was a great day. Good to see everybody back out again. But yeah, like a lot of new businesses that were able to show off their stuff.
Yeah.
Has anyone been to Nick's yet? I know we talk about we're a big fan of Nick's. We have his menu from his original operation when he was working out of other restaurants' kitchens. We have it still hanging on the fridge. But has anyone been to his new brick and mortar that he opened?
We've
I
tried twice, and the wait is pretty substantial, too substantial for us to stay. But we will get there, Nick. We just haven't been able to find that sweet spot yet.
I'm looking forward to when he starts doing takeout
Oh, definitely.
and lunch because his restaurant is right across the street from our office.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
So we will be hosting podcasts from Nick's, I'm sure.
Yeah, I told Chris that they weren't doing takeout because we were going to get pizza
Yeah.
yesterday. And he was like, what? Why? And I was like, it's too early. They're trying to like figure everything out. And he's like, well, that's just, he was upset. He was not happy.
Yeah, we know that what a great contribution Nick's is to the community and that it takes a little time to kind of figure out what works. And he's definitely got like a cult following now.
Yeah.
But speaking of other local businesses in the area, has anyone seen that they're opening a like a driving range virtual golf simulator like right across in Brandmar Plaza?
This is the first I'm hearing
It's where I just saw it last night and I'm very excited about it. It's right where Anytime Fitness used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's near Acme and Walgreens and Brouhaha.
Was
But
that like a date night thing?
I feel
It's like
like
Top Golf, but not
it's
Top
like
Golf.
Top Golf but indoor, and they have golf simulators and lessons. And I just saw it's like a franchise, so they're starting from the ground up.
Very cool. Speaking
But-
of franchises and indoor sports, apparently there's a place called Pickler that's opening up at the Grove in Newark.
I heard about
It was supposed to be open this spring, so I don't know. It says to be determined.
I can
but
imagine
I'm
pickleball.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
Pickleball. I mean, how cool is that? And
Pickleball is all the rage.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that.
I've never tried it either. So
Haven't either.
maybe we'll have to do it one
Yeah, well, I was going to say it must be becoming really popular because there's another pickleball opening in Newport.
Oh, okay,
So-
cool. That's close to me.
An indoor one? Outdoor one?
I'm not sure.
I know a lot of realtors love pickleball as like a morning activity, like networking
Really?
Kind of
Morning
I'm not
activity.
invited to this.
Well,
Morning activity.
I've seen the invites because our
Yep.
schedules allow us to do weekday morning networking.
Right. When our clients are at work,
Yeah.
we have some time.
But I've always been too intimidated. I used to teach tennis lessons, so I feel like
Oh, then you're gonna be a pro. No, it's
dropping bombs on you guys.
yeah.
know this.
I was not qualified to teach tennis.
Apparently, you're not oversharing enough.
I'm not qualified to teach tennis lessons, but I did to students in Houston when I did AmeriCorps. But so I do like tennis, and I feel like those skills should translate.
I think
to
they do
pickleball.
actually.
I'm just intimidated to try something new in front of other people.
That's it.
But
We're doing it.
pickler, that's gonna get me out
Team
there.
pickleball. Yep.
I love that. Yeah, there's a ton of new businesses, and I'm mixed emotions about this one. So Surf Bagel just came to Middletown, and that's like our beach thing. So Chris was like, "Did you see Surf Bagel's comment? He loves Surf Bagel," and I'm like, "I don't like that. I don't like it. Like that's our beach thing. I
Yeah.
don't want it close to here, so we can go get it. Like."
Attainable.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Jen, who's another realtor, and she lives in Clayton. And so she was like, I love this because we don't really have anything like this down here. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. She's like, I don't want to go to like the Smyrna Diner to get breakfast. Like I would love to just like go and get a bagel from Surf Bagel. So I was like, okay. For other people, I love that. But for me, it's still my beach thing.
Middletown's, it's a distance for you anyways. That's not like you're going there on a Saturday morning for a bagel.
But I still have more access to it now. So
Yeah.
and Chris will drive down
Consider it.
for Surf Bagel. Trust me. Oh yeah.
As a former New Yorker, I'm a little dismayed at the lack of bagel establishments in Delaware in general. So it would be nice to have some kind of bagel place like that's just those like bagels, breakfast sandwiches, different cream cheeses like in our area.
Have you been to the one right across the street? Is it Einstein?
That's a chain. Don't talk to me.
I was gonna say
the one across the street.
that's the thing is
I'm not
like
going to Einstein's Bagels. I lived in New York for 10 years, Kristen. I go to Einstein's Bagels. I'm not a bit, but you know what I mean. Like just like a mom and pop bagel place. Like
so that's the thing. I was gonna say there are a lot of bagel places around here, but there are a lot of chains. Newcastle Bagel is not a chain.
Oh,
It's like in a strip mall. You walk in. It's like very.
are they
I
good?
don't know. Yeah, they're good. They're good. But
I wouldn't know because clearly.
she's just
If you know of any
in North
bagel,
Wilmington all the time.
New York.
if there are any bagel spots that we should try, our listeners should drop them in the comments.
Also, somebody from New York originally. I understand. I
Yeah.
hear that it's in the water that they use to make the bagel. I don't know if that's a rumor, if that's a real thing, but apparently it's the water.
There's a gimmicky thing. When I lived in Texas, there was a bagel place that used to import water
Yep.
from
Yep.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
New York City does have good tap water, but
Yeah. There you go.
I believe that water tastes different.
yeah. But also, it's just like how fresh the bagels are, and like I feel like they're like I'll get a bagel at Brouhaha sometimes, but I want like a bagel place where you go and just
Yeah.
order an everything bagel with scallion cream cheese, and that's like their specialty.
Cream cheese. Okay. I'm loving that.
So what are we talking about this week, guys?
Well,
So we kind of don't have a specific topic. It's just going to be all things real estate, being mom in real estate, what we didn't learn in real estate, like just
in real estate school.
real estate school. We have so many people that are like, oh, I want to get into real estate. And I feel like we need to share what the reality is versus what you see on HGTV, because so many people are like, oh, did you see that show on HGTV? And I don't watch them, so no.
Looks like
Oh, I used to watch them hard.
Yeah.
Or
your whole job is like to dress glamorously and get in your like nice car and show up and open the door and
Point out the granite.
Whereas I'm like pulling up in my like car that needs to be washed, and my kids' stuff and my stuff is like falling out, and I'm like, excuse me, do not look inside my car. When you said the back of my car was immaculate that day, I was like, girl, this is like a one-off. Yeah.
my passenger seat is like a storage unit. I have like, for Christmas and the holidays, I got you guys a like little desk that you can install on your
On the
your
steering wheel. So
and use it. Like you can use it.
Yeah.
I mean, we all
because
eat,
we're all working in the car all the time.
we eat most of our meals on the road, and so it's been clutch, like for just like propping my laptop up, so I'm not like hoisting it onto the steering wheel. And then Kristen, you also got us a bunch of like car
Yes.
organization stuff, so that's helping a little bit, but it's mostly just like snacks. My glove compartment is like a pantry. I have like snacks because my kids will get in the car, and like I need to make sure I have things for them, and it's things so I don't get hangry in the middle of a showing schedule.
I know. Usually try to keep
Yeah.
like a big thing of nuts,
Yeah,
cashews or something.
my kids have been coming with me a lot lately for work because we're in the spring market now, and so things are busier, people are out there, and so I have a few clients who are only able to see homes in the afternoons, like after work hours. So I'll pick my kids up from school, and I always make sure that it's okay with the client if the kids come.
Yeah,
But-
definitely depends on the client.
Yeah, but so now I have to have all of my necessities and then all of my kids showing showing tour necessities. I did have to tell my son this weekend on a showing they were not allowed to break dance in the listing. So
Oh, but that's adorable.
being a mom and
Like, there's plenty of
But to
room
your
for
point, I
activities
mean-
in here.
yeah.
But to your point, I mean, our cars are full of our kids' stuff and they're full of our real estate stuff. And
Yeah.
a given day, it's like, here's a baseball bat and a, document for a client or whatever. But just kind of going back to like when I first got into the real estate industry, like the reason why I did it is so that I could have some flexibility. Now, so in some ways, this is a joke because then we're working till midnight on an offer or whatever. We're stealing time from dinner time sometimes because we have to. But
Sure.
but I did get into this because I wanted flexibility.
Thank-
So pros and cons, because sometimes you are bringing your kid along or your kids along to a showing or whatever. But at the end of the day, I mean, maybe we share that a little bit. Like we got into it for the flexibility,
Absolutely.
and so yeah.
And I
And
tell
the problem sometimes is it's too flexible.
yeah. really good at having personal boundaries,
Yeah.
Yeah, you
especially when
have
you're a
to.
parent.
Definitely.
But I tell my kids all the time because now I'm a solo parent. I went through a divorce this year, and so when my kids are with their dad, then I have a lot more flexibility, and I try to like fit in as much as I can. But when they're with me, I explain to them that like mommy's job is a little different, and a lot of your friends' parents are sitting in one place for the whole time that you're at school, and then when you get out of school, then they're with you. But for us, like my daughter's school district was closed on Monday, and I was able to just take the day. I didn't schedule anything for myself, and we went and like did mini golf at a farm. And I explained to her that like we make sacrifices, and a lot of people's parents are not able to do the things that I'm able to do. I'll be able to go on their field trips because I'll be able to make my own schedules that way. So
I try to explain that to Austin because she gets frustrated. She's like, "You're always working. You have to go to show a house or sell a house." She's always like, "Are you selling a house today?" Or you're on your phone or your laptop, and I get like that like mom guilt, and I start feeling bad, and then I'm like, well, let's talk about all the times, Austin, when like mommy takes you to school, mommy picks you up, like mommy can come to your like school events like during the day if you have one. Mommy can get you out of school early some days to do fun things. Like Chris is such a supportive partner, and I'm so grateful for him, especially like in this business where like I rarely take my daughter with me on showings. But I don't know, like it's different. Like he could go away for work for like a whole week and she's just like, whatever, or he can't do this because he has to work on a Saturday, and it's just like, whatever. But like if mommy has to work, like, does anybody else feel that? It's just like, oh my gosh, like how do you get your kids to realize like this is a blessing? Like,
well, that's why I do try to incorporate my kids into what I do as much as possible. And I think my clients are okay with it. My kids have been a part of the home buying journeys of, I'd say like a good portion of my clients. They've come to showings. My daughter was at a closing last year for the first time. But I feel like if I involve them in the process, then I explain to them what's happening. Like I took my oldest, my 6-year-old, on a final walkthrough, and that kind of like I feel like that latched into her brain. Like, oh, this is the last time that they get to see their house before they move in, and like they have to. So she'll ask me about that a lot, and it is very challenging. Like I come up with ground rules for the kids before a showing, and they earn a quarter for every showing that they can follow the rules. I give them each a business card to hold on to, and they have to hold on to it the whole time just to like give them something concrete to earn their quarter. But I'm sure as they get older, it's gonna have to up the ante. It's gonna have to be a little bit maybe get an LLC where I can actually pay them. But they do help. But
I do that now. Mine are
Yeah.
old enough. Mm-hmm.
but
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like if, as hard as it is, if I try to include them in the process as much as possible from beginning to end, then they'll start to like not resent when I have to be pulled away for something.
I love that.
I brought my laptop with me to the play that we went to yesterday because there was an offer deadline and I was waiting for signatures. And I feel like if I wasn't,
Such a realtor thing to do.
Yeah, you need it.
Yesterday,
I brought mine to Dalton Farms.
oh yeah,
that's typical. Yesterday, so our schedule is booked solid for sports. So we have 3 competitive soccer players and then 2 in track and 1 in softball. So spring is chaos. And the only day this entire month that we had off was yesterday. And of course, I had a buyer that wanted to write an offer.
gosh.
So it was one of those like, all right, when are we going to be done with this? And I'm like, I got to wait for responses.
I feel in your heart
just-
how that must have felt like when you're kind of looking forward to family time. And
We still made
Yeah.
time. It's just I had to carve away a little bit of time. I mean, luckily I can do a lot of prep work leading up that my kids are older, so they don't need me as much, which is sad, but they don't need me as much.
Yeah.
But it's like waiting for us to go out to lunch, waiting for us to go and
Yeah.
do fun things.
It's funny. So years ago when I was helping a buyer client buy, to your point, Amber, like how do you explain to the kids, right? So this was like 3 years ago and we were going skiing as a family. We go skiing. I have to write an offer. There's a deadline. I'm literally inside the ski lodge the whole time. And my kids to this day, they're 13 twins, turning 14 soon, so almost 14. And to this day, they're like, remember that time that mom couldn't ski? And I'm like, guys, like but what about all those other times when?
But also,
I
it's like,
was
remember that time that mom didn't get to ski because she
I'm
was
like, I
working
didn't
really
get to
hard?
ski because I was working. And guess what? This client got the house. I don't know if it was that house or it might have been the next one, but like I'm still in touch with these folks. They're great friends of mine. My daughter just went out with it was me and the wife and her little boy who's 4. So like they're friends now. And I'm like, I was writing an offer for those people.
And you're also like,
But,
well, the
you know.
reason we got to go skiing was because,
Yeah.
Mom works.
Yeah. So it's not, they might remember those times when you weren't there, but we have to remind them and remind ourselves of all the times we are there.
Yeah.
like getting to take my kids to practice. every
Yes,
day.
exactly.
That's a
Because you
Yeah.
cannot get that back. You can't go back and redo it.
Yeah.
I always tell myself that, like, I will never regret being there during these years because you can't redo it,
Yeah.
So-
And these years go by so fast. Like
They
even
do.
before I had kids, like I didn't know, or one kid before I had Austin, like I didn't know if I was going to have a kid. I'm like, well, if I don't, I don't. If I do, I do. Like either way, like I was content, like whichever way it went. But where was I going with this?
It's Monday.
It is Monday. I feel so clouded.
Days start coming and they don't stop coming. I think that's the point. But
I'm like, hold on.
you were saying to Tara about like the reason you're able to go skiing is because of the hard work. you
Yeah,
do.
there you go.
She was saying the years go by so fast, and I'm gonna get emotional. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
But even before I had kids, like spending like time with my niece and nephew was like really important. And I know like they're like teenagers now, and so I saw how fast that went by, and I'm just like holding on for dear life.
It's very hard to balance, but I have started talking to the kids a little bit more, and I don't know if this is like totally appropriate, but it feels like important to me to explain to them that like the way our job is, we don't get money paid to us no matter what at the end of every week. Like we don't have that security. So I explained to them like how much a dollar is worth. Like if I don't do this work that I'm doing for my client, then that's a matter of like whether we're going to spend that extra few days at the beach.
Yeah.
Like it literally is like our
Yeah.
Livelihood.
livelihood.
Yeah.
for sure.
And that goes back to like when people ask you like what's it like to be a realtor, and I want to get in real estate, and I find that conversation to be difficult initially because it's like you don't want to be pessimistic because like you're like, this is, it's really hard, but it's a great career. And it's like, so it's like you're having a conversation that keeps going back and forth, and they're like, is this a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Like, I don't know.
You're like, it's great, but it's so hard. and it's-
Speaking of that, though, like, what are the things that we didn't learn in real estate school that you're all like, yeah, right? Like, it's
well,
funny
Jenna's
because it's
the
not
newest.
Yeah. So what are you thinking, Jenna?
yeah, Jenna.
Well, I think for me personally, like you get a good overview. I mean, they teach you all the little aspects, but for me, pulling it all together is what they didn't say. Like I came in here one day and I was like, all right, girls, let's do ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of real estate. Like I want to know as soon as someone's ready to write that offer, it's go time.
Give me
What do I
checklist.
do?
Yeah.
And then what happens next? And how does that all flow and look? Because that's important to me. I want to do that part right as best as I can. I mean, you never know how the transaction's going to go, just as far as, you know, how your buyers are going to feel, how your sellers are going to feel, the timing of everybody else doing whatever they have to do. Like, you never know how that's all going to go. But I just want to do my part as best as I
You want like a
can.
roadmap, pretty much.
Yeah.
They don't give you a road.
They don't teach you in real estate school.
Yeah.
You don't learn anything
Yeah,
about how to
no.
write an offer. You don't learn anything about
Yeah.
contingencies. Even I feel like are maybe.
There was a lot of math
Right.
that I've never used again.
You know how many
but-
feet are in an acre? Actually, I don't remember how many feet are in an acre.
I was just.
I
Oh, gosh.
I did know that.
Oh, that on the archives. 2,000. I don't know.
5 something,
But
right?
I remember
not
like
important.
something 4-3.
nobody has ever asked.
We
since
Google it.
Never
we
needed
took the
it.
test.
No.
They don't
No.
teach you how to respond when the agent on the other side of the deal tells you that they've been in this industry for 40 years and they know better than you. That's something that you have to learn on the job.
Yeah.
But
It depends. It depends. And I think that the best thing we can do is be prepared, have systems, and prepare our clients mentally, like, you know, for what they're about to embark on. And then all the different roller coasters that come up in the transaction, like at least you have like a foundation. You know, and it helps to have support. That's my recommendation to anybody initially. I'm like, the most important thing, like career wise, like this business is amazing,
Agreed.
right? I love it. I don't want to do anything else. But it is hard. But what makes it easy is your connections and your relationships, and who you learn from is going to be so important, because just like any career or field of business, like you have good people, you have bad people, you have people that do business a certain way, maybe very transactional, maybe very relational, you know, like what type of business do you want to do? And like just learn from somebody that's going to
Align with what you
yeah.
well, 98% of my education was not in real estate school. It's been since I joined this team. And I sent you guys a text last night where I was talking to my boyfriend about like, I'm navigating a tricky situation with an offer that one of my clients is writing. And like, just to be able to turn to our team and our team leader and the people on this team with various like degrees of experience and who have gone through these things themselves, like, when you join a brokerage, a lot of times they'll assign you a mentor, or like you'll find a mentor, but you don't know that person is going to have what you need. But when you're on a team, you have so many different like outlets and like
Yeah. And sometimes it's just the moral support. Like, hey guys, this is a tough one.
I was
And
gonna
it's
say,
like, yeah,
even
we
just
feel
today-
ya.
I've been leaning into
Yeah,
that.
and not in a negative way, just like, yeah, this business is tough, and like there's a lot of stuff that in my, you know, few years of experience as a real estate agent that like happen behind the scenes that our clients don't even see, just because we're doing so much work on their behalf, that takes a toll. And like to be able to come and be like, okay guys, I did this, like this is tough, and people be like, yep, been there, this is how it worked the last time I did that, and it's just huge.
Because nobody gets it like us. Like even our like spouses that like live with us or with us all the time, like they get it to a certain extent, but they don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody, like you don't know until you're in this business and you're like, wow, this is different.
Yep.
Well, that's another thing. Like, they don't teach you in real estate school. How are your clients going to react? How are they going to feel about what you recommend the offer, or how we should write a strong offer, or
anything. They don't
Yeah,
teach you
but
anything
that's
about
why I love
conversation.
but that's why I love all the tools our team has. Like, there's so much legwork
Yeah.
that has gone into the resources that we provide to buyers and sellers before we even sign that agreement with them. that they're getting all that information up front so that there are less surprises. There's not going to be no surprises, but there are less surprises going forward because we've taken the time to educate them what it means to be a buyer and what all these, strategies are, what it means to sell and all the strategies there. So that's huge because I feel like we eliminate problems that could have been problems down the road,
Yeah.
And a lot of those were created because we
Yeah.
got
Because-
into those situations and we're like, never again.
Like, we
Are we
need
going to go down that road?
That is always how that happens. I know, even in my
Yeah.
staging business, I've had to change the contract umpteen times because, that's when I learned that. And then I had to add that to the contract. And then, you do learn as you go.
Yeah.
You get better. But
Speaking of,
avoiding
so we didn't
pitfalls.
even introduce you.
hi.
So like, hey, who's Tara? This is just Tara, everybody.
I'm just Tara.
Tara
Yeah.
is new to the team, and she's been in real estate for.
Well, I've been a real estate agent for a little over 3 years, but I've been in the real estate industry helping sellers, in particular with home staging and photos and videos and such since 2011, actually.
Wow.
I'm that crazy person that took a home staging course when I was on maternity leave because that's what one does. I just always had a passion for design and houses. And so, I've been staging homes. I don't know how many hundreds of people I've helped sell, like prepare sell before
Yeah.
I became an agent. So, I've been in the real estate world for a while,
That's
but
an advantage.
That's so much
yeah,
value.
I'm not afraid to have hard conversations
Yes,
with
you
people
have
and
to.
in a,
It's
in
part
a
of our
very
job.
nice professional way. Like I always tell people, like, if I'm going to sell my house, there's big changes I'm going to make to my house too. Like, especially when my kids were little, my dining room was a playroom, like,
Yeah.
and I try to make people feel better. It's not about like what your particular house is like in this moment. It's just like, what do we have to do to get top dollar and make this process easy? And so anyway, I'm happy to be here on the team.
you.
Yeah, my first podcast.
I know.
Crushing
This
it.
is so exciting. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot that they don't teach you, but just team up with the right person, I guess.
And
Into that.
if you have ever thought, oh, this looks like an interesting career and I really want to know, message us. We will sit with anybody.
Yeah.
Really dive into it with you. And I've had so many conversations.
I
Some
came-
have turned into
I came
agent.
to like 3 or 4 team meetings before I even got my license. And it was really helpful to kind of like see what goes on behind the scenes as I was getting ready to take my test. And I learned from the very beginning that it's a lot more than what you see
Yeah.
on your study guides.
I offer that. Like, we offer it to everybody. Like,
Yeah.
if you're interested, like, we're going to tell you everything that we can possibly tell you up front, but like, come and actually like sit with us during a meeting, and get that experience. Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. It's That Delaware Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of That Delaware Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at That Delaware Podcast and our team page at RosaioTeam_real estate. And of course, if you have any real estate or Delaware questions, feel free to reach out.